Good morning, everybody, and welcome into the show today. Mike and Paul, and we have Tina Falck with us today, the first select woman of the town of Griswold. I have a real hard time calling you the selectman because you're not a man. But then again, you have to the whole gender thing. You
I
gotta,
know, but I'm not that. I'm not that picky about it. I
yeah, you
figure
never wore it.
it's on the ballot as selectman.
Yeah.
So I'm good with that.
How do you identify? He, her, she, it. I don't know. Do you care?
No, that's
They.
first selectman. I'm cool.
What about you? Cat.
Yeah, I'm a he.
How many cats he has?
Yeah.
40.
Good for you. I have 2. That's a lot of work.
I don't want to tell you how many we got. Too many.
Are you down to 11?
I think it's
12?
like 12.
Well,
I love cats, so I certainly can.
well, Ginny, his wife, is the cat lady
Yeah, she
of
knows.
Griswold. So,
Yeah.
so I'm sorry I was late today.
No, that's fine because I was running a little bit late too.
Well,
I had somebody come in the office.
oh, did you? Yeah, I have some neuropathy in my feet,
Oh,
which is weird because there's a story for this. It's because they're numb, but then they hurt like hell at night. So I couldn't sleep last night. So I'm up and around, and also, So anyway, that's why I was a few minutes late this morning.
that's okay. It worked out perfectly for me.
Good. So, what we want to talk about today, I just want to go ahead and get this thrown around in other social media platforms here. Because that way more people will see it. Put it in Griswold now. Carl Lucier just deletes it. Did you know that? He does. He just deletes it. Because Carl Lucier doesn't really care if you know anything in town. He only wants you to know that he's the king of Griswold now. That's the only thing he cares about. Paul wanted to say it, but he didn't know what words to use.
I don't really care.
Oh, yes, you do. You just don't care when the mics are live. All right. So, Tina,
Yes, sir.
you had reached out to me on Thursday, and you had stated that you'd heard our show on Wednesday, and we were talking about
actually, no, I think the show was Thursday morning.
Was it? Oh wait, yeah, maybe it was
The
Thursday.
day after.
Okay, that's right. Because I said we don't. I told you that we don't do a show on Friday.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna, like I always do. I'm just gonna go ahead and pass it over to you and explain, and then we'll talk from there.
Okay. So
Can you bring this out a little bit, or just move it over a little bit?
is that better?
Yeah, because what happens when you put your head down?
Yep.
Okay.
All right. So on last Wednesday, the 25th, at the request of the Lieutenant Governor's office, we had put together a Vietnam Veterans era recognition ceremony, and it really was in the control of the Lieutenant Governor's office. Okay, she had stopped into my office in January, and what she indicated to me was that they were going to be going through the state, and she said a lot of the towns had already had their recognition ceremonies, but that she had reached out to Griswold some time ago, and she said nothing ever happened. She said, would you be willing
Mhm.
to do this for us. And of course I said yes. So I had constant contact with her aide, John Kelly, and we set the date, and they pretty much sent the emails indicating what they expected the ceremony to be. It wasn't anything that a program that we put together. It was there. It was there.
Did you turn your microphone on? Nope.
Oh, well, it's
We-
on.
Is it?
Yeah.
We can still hear you because we can still it's still picking up on ours. Oh. So, it's like any classy show. Hold on a minute.
This is more technology than good with technology.
All the batteries were changed at the same time, so I'm kind of surprised that this is.
It's me. If it's gonna go wrong, it's me.
Here we go. All right.
All right.
So you should be good now.
Okay. So we contacted the school. I talked with the superintendent, and we wanted to find a date that wasn't going to interfere with graduation and year-end ceremonies at the school. And we ultimately came up with a date of the 25th of June, which was fine. And what the lieutenant governor had suggested was that we contact the assessor's office, our assessor's office, along with the town clerk, to come up with list of veterans and people that would fall within the category of the Vietnam era, which we did. And they produced a very good list. I also worked with, I reached out to the VFW. The list that we came up with from the assessor's office, I generated through those groups along with the Veterans Coffee House.
Yep.
So we did everything that we could to identify as many as we could. I'm sure, in fact, I had a call from a woman who said her husband wasn't included on the list. But in going through all of the other lists, he wasn't on. So I have to research that. And then we produced a list of all of those names and addresses, and a letter of invitation was sent out. And this letter was generated by Lieutenant Governor's office. So as you can see, this was her organized
It was her event.
Correct. So 255 letters went out, okay, to people in our community. All right. It was out there.
Yep.
And
well, let me just make a statement. It was well out there as far as the invitations to the veterans.
Correct. It was a veterans ceremony, and that was made clear to us. Okay. It was also, and I don't have it in front of me now because I know that Wayne had mentioned that it wasn't put out there. I mean, it wasn't supposed to be this town-wide thing. That wasn't the intention. And I'd been to one of these ceremonies before because it was done for my son. And it was very small. It was very intimate. It was family and friends. And it was to recognize those veterans. So
what you're saying is this ceremony was not structured to be like
a town-wide event.
Like the 911 ceremony up at the school.
No, it was not. It was not. And so the night after the ceremony and the night after the show, I had 2 phone calls. One was from a community member, and one was from a veteran who was, and I hadn't listened to the show yet. And the veteran was a little bit fired up. He said, "It sounds like we did a terrible job." And I said, "Well, wait a minute." So I did go on and I did listen to the show. Okay. So I just,
Paul, told you. When you think no one is listening, everybody's listening.
yeah. So we were the host town. And I want you to think about something. We had a very generous donation from Eastern Savings Bank to provide refreshments. Okay. We knew from the responses from the RSVPs, they told us how many family members would be coming. We knew how many people we would be providing
Right.
refreshments for. So if it had opened up, so we had just under 200 people total, 400 people show up. I mean, we planned for exactly what we were told to plan. And then I think the other thing,
Well, who showed up other than?
it was the veterans, it was their families. There might have been a few community members who had heard it through their veteran friends. So it worked out well. We had everything that we needed. We had the veterans there. We had Heather Summers. We had Brian Lanou. We had the commissioner. And I know there was a comment made also, and I talked to Heather after this, that she didn't know about this until a week before. Nobody knew about this until a week before. I've got John Kelly's email to me. John Kelly was Susan's assistant. And this is our marching orders. This is what we were to do. And this is back in January. And he said they would prepare citations for all of the RSVPing veterans. So when they RSVP'd, we sent it off to them. And then it said, we will also invite your state delegation and Congressman Courtney. That was not our responsibility or our duty. And then they gave the typical run of how the show was to be run, how the stage was to be set up. You know, we were guided all along the way. And those were the things that we did. All right. Getting back to not notifying anybody or, putting it out there.
I mean, I didn't know about it. And all I said is I didn't know about it.
Yeah, no. And it was mentioned at more than one Board of Selectmen. And I had the minutes with me. I don't have them in this packet right now. But it was, I want to say it was 2 Selectmen meetings ago that it was on the agenda.
Oh, I remember hearing something about it, and I do watch every Board of Selectmen meeting.
It was on the agenda, and
Online.
Wayne said we didn't know anything about it. Wayne was at that meeting where it was on the agenda, and I presented it at that meeting. So I don't know where that came from.
Okay.
I did get a call from Lieutenant Governor the day after, and throughout the ceremony, she was asking me, "What's your population?" And she said, "This is a really good veteran turnout." She said, we don't see this often. And she called me the next day, again, to thank Griswold and to say that she was very pleased with the entire event and the turnout. And the one thing she was pleased about, we had the Veterans Coffee House. Now, another comment was made that they weren't all Griswold residents. So I want to explain that too, because this is important to me and to the Veterans Coffee House.
So let me just say, if you're just tuning in, what we did a show last Wednesday and or Thursday, excuse me.
Yes.
And we were talking about various things today. One of them was this veterans event that you're speaking about right now.
Right.
I know I don't remember what anybody said verbatim, so I'm going to leave that to you. But I know what I said was I didn't know about it, and then I don't think you knew about it either.
No.
But the sounds of it, we really weren't supposed to know.
It's not that you weren't supposed to know, but I can't.
It wasn't an advertised event.
No,
Okay.
no,
All right.
it was a Vietnam Veterans Recognition Ceremony. It was for the Vietnam veterans. And anybody else, through putting it out through the Board of Selectmen meeting or through word of mouth or the VFW talking among themselves or the Veterans Coffee House, if they came, that was fine. But
you weren't kicking people out.
no, absolutely
But you weren't telling
not.
people to come.
No, we put it out there appropriately. Okay. So getting back to the coffee house, they probably have between 60 and 70 members of the coffee house every Tuesday morning.
Okay.
And
I know that's really grown very well.
it's a fabulous group.
Yeah.
And even Lieutenant Governor commented on that group.
Mm-hmm.
The camaraderie, just the sense of who they are and what they represent. But there were some people within that group who were Vietnam era veterans who maybe Lisbon, maybe Plainfield, not many. And I can't even say I could count on one hand. But they asked if they could be included in the ceremony. Wasn't my decision. So I emailed John Kelly and I said, they are members of the center. They are members of the Veterans Coffee House. And if anybody knows very much about the Veterans Coffee House, it doesn't matter what town they're from. If they're a member of that group, they are very involved with the town of Griswold. They are out helping to clean cemeteries, whether they're Lisbon, Plainfield, Griswold. The bulk of them, yes, are Griswold residents. How do you look them in the face and say, nope, sorry, you can't be part of this. You don't count. I even went to the VFW and asked them to identify, go through the list, tell me who. And Lieutenant Governor's office sent back, yes, of course, they can be included. So that's why you might have had a handful of people who weren't Griswold residents. And I just want to clarify that because...
But I do know also is like there are veterans coffee houses in other towns in Plainfield, as a matter of fact.
Yes.
And there are members from here.
Absolutely.
I know that go there.
Absolutely.
And really it's just a matter of, friends.
It's reciprocal.
Hanging out with friends.
Yeah. And, some years back, there was a comment about other people from other towns, even at the senior center. Oh, well, gee, why are they using our senior center? And you know why? You know how many of our people go to the Plainfield Senior Center, the Lisbon Senior Center. They go there to play bingo. They go on their trips. It's reciprocal, and that's the way it should be. So I just wanted to clear up a couple of those points because it was a very, very special event. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to, especially that one particular veteran that called, he was upset. And
because he wasn't included?
No, he was upset because what he listened to, it made it sound like,
listened up. Okay.
The negative, the people who counted, the people who this was all about knew. They were recognized and it was about them and it wasn't about anybody else or anybody else's feelings or we did it exactly the way it was supposed to be done.
Right. Okay.
So, and that's what I wanted to clear up.
Paul?
No, I totally agree with you that people from other towns should be coming. This was a state-run thing, not the Griswold town thing.
Right.
So it was a Vietnam veterans thing, not town of Griswold thing. So I don't see any reason why people should be upset. If somebody came from Norwich, somebody came from Plain, they're Vietnam vets. Okay. So that's what it was all
He has a
about.
hard time speaking Monday mornings.
I don't blame you. We did have a woman who called from Lisbon and her husband was a Vietnam vet. But Lisbon apparently at one point had already done theirs. Oh. All right. And he did. And she said, no. I just didn't know if this was something over and above what he had already been to. So, and when you have this many people, it's kind of hard to put a lid on it. But I had to clear up a few points.
Sure.
Because it was a very, very good event. It was great. So
And it went according to plan.
it did. It
So-
did. There were some.
I mean, I wasn't aware. I'll be honest with you. I wasn't aware it was like a pseudo private event. You know what I mean? It wasn't like a private event, but if you
It
weren't
wasn't
invited,
private, and I don't think that private.
right? But I'm
would
just
be-
saying, is it wasn't
Yeah.
something you're going to see on billboards all over the place, and I didn't
Right.
know that
Or like
myself.
some big event in Veterans Park where we wanted to
Right,
invite the
right,
whole
right,
community,
right.
and you'd put it out on, Jewett City Savings
Their
board
marquee
out
there,
there,
yeah,
or at the fire department boards. It wasn't like that.
right,
you
right.
know. So
Well, I don't know if it would have been beneficial just to say that we're having an event for Vietnam veterans only. Maybe that would have.
but I don't even think that only would have been a word. It's just working within the group that you're supposed to be working within. And if it did, Mike told somebody or somebody told Mike, that's fine. But it wasn't our job to make a community-wide announcement. Our job was to reach out to those veterans
To organize it.
and make sure that that particular group knew. However anybody found out beyond that, but it was at the Board of Selectmen meeting. And I did mention it at one of the EDC things too, because we were trying to plan a
Yeah, you
meeting. And, it wasn't to say, oh, by the way, it was just, I couldn't make a meeting because of that. But, and I know, here's the thing. Second and third hand information doesn't work. Okay.
Yeah, it never does.
I played a game at the senior center many years back when we were back here, because it was the constant. Oh, well, she said, did you hear what she said? He said. So I played that game telephone with them.
What is that?
Well, the telephone, or you start, I'm going to tell Paul something, and I'm going to whisper it in his ear. And we did it at a membership meeting. And then it goes around the room. I couldn't believe how much by the time we got to the last person, the story had changed, or it had been embellished, or somebody put their own point of view in,
Right.
or
right.
I heard it from so-and-so. If there are questions, or somebody's not, really not happy about something or pleased, or they're questioning why it was done a certain way, dear God, ask me. Call the office, ask, verify it. I just... Please.
Okay.
I
do want to talk to you about the new parking garage.
I'm sure you do.
that's coming up. People, if you don't know, well, it's like the veterans event. You don't need to know. So it's not happening, in other words. But I just want to see if I can get calls to your office. It's going to be the former St. Mary's School parking garage, 3 levels.
No. Don't believe this man.
There is a comment from Wayne Malin.
Yes.
And if you don't mind, I will read it to you.
No, fine. Yes.
Okay.
Please.
The comment I made about other vets were out of town, not to be negative. It was to mention the... Oh boy, here we go. It was to mention the inclusion of the region. I thought we were pretty positive on our discussion. Or maybe on us. I received a lot of feedback on when it happened. Plus, others had family that was in the war that passed on and would have liked to have been there to show respect to their service. I thought the ceremony was very well done and needed for those vets that did not get their due.
Okay. No, I appreciate that, Wayne. I will tell you that when the invitations went out, we received, and we noted here, we had 4 deceased who responded. The spouses or a daughter responded.
Oh my God! I thought you said they responded, and like women.
No. Their
gone,
spouse. The family responded.
Oh,
and
the family did.
There were.
I thought you said they responded. I'm like,
no.
From where?
No. So calls did come in. but we could only identify those calls that came in. So some of the family members requested that they accept the recognition for their loved one, and that's what we did. But I mean, it was a lot of work.
Yeah.
It was a lot of work. And, were there some gaps or something? I'm sure that there were. That was like the lady who left a voicemail for me on Friday. And I did respond to her this morning about her husband didn't know. And she gave me his name. And he's not on the assessor's list. So I have to research that. And I will.
Another message here from Kathy LaBeouf Lacasse.
Yes.
Great day for the vets. Very proud to be married to a Vietnam vet. Program was wonderful. Thanks to all who put the work in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, I think that makes sense now that everything, the air's cleared about that. That it wasn't like Paul's 17th birthday, and there's a list that went out to come to Paul's, and then if a friend brought a friend, then that's one thing.
Yeah.
But it wasn't anything that it was put all over marquees everywhere.
No.
Imagine the picture that would be on there.
I mean,
This mug here.
I didn't go to Vietnam because I went to the physical and everything else, but I was working at EB at the time. Mm-hmm. So they deferred me from going, but it would have been that 1964, 1963. Mm-hmm. So I could have been a vet, but I didn't have to go, thank God, because I don't know if I would have took it. But these people that are, this organization, a lot of these people are late 70s, early 80s. Mm-hmm. They're not young people.
No. Well, that was like they had the World War II recognition up at the Armory.
Yeah.
It was a couple of months ago. And Lieutenant Governor's office did reach out to us again. And I worked with the assessor's office and the clerk's office. And I went up and I sat with a gentleman at the VFW. And I said, we need to, reach out and try to identify our World War II vets. Who do we have with us? And we were even making arrangements to get those vets up to the Armory so that they could attend. We have one, and I'm still waiting on the recognition. There is one at one of the nursing homes not far from here. And Lieutenant Governor's office said, can you get him there? Couldn't do it because he can't leave the nursing home. He's not physically able to do it. So they're going to provide a recognition for him. So we do all that we can do.
Right.
All right. But
be all that you can be.
Yeah. And sometimes it's not perfect. So
I do have a bone to pick with you, though.
Do it.
Well, I think.
Did you not hear what I just said? I got a bone to pick with her, and Paul, you go right ahead.
No, I'm just saying that I think I lost my chain of thought. Jesus.
Well, you go next with the bone, and then you think about it.
I just wanted to.
Yeah, I love doing that. We've been doing this show together a long time, so if I could ever get a rib in on him, I do. He does too. So my bone to pick with you is yes. Now I heard a rumor.
You heard a rumor.
Yes, and that the day of the ceremony, you were shuffling around looking for a PA system.
Mm-hmm. I called Sean.
Sean who?
Sean McKenna.
Why did you not call me?
Because they've got the whole auditorium system right there. And all they had to do.
Work? Did they get it to work?
It was working.
Okay.
Yeah, no. As a matter of fact, when I went there that morning, we were putting bows on the rows of seats in the auditorium. And I said to Sean, and the custodian was there. And I said to Sean, oh, by the way, we need 2 microphones. They provided 2 microphones and they both worked.
So you guys had. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Because somebody said you were looking. See how gray water just kind of floats around?
There was something else that they had to do. Oh, no, it was the lighting. The lighting was very dim. and it was
At the middle school?
no, the
Or
high
at
school.
High school, okay.
And we needed the lights on over where the podium was. And that was something that had to be done on the computer. So Ray Churchill's wife was there.
Yep.
And she was able to get that done. But no, I mean, we immediately had 2 microphones.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
That's all we needed.
Because I heard you basically were scrambling for a PA system.
I wasn't
and
scrambling
I'm
for
like,
a PA system. No. And honestly,
oh, I'm fine.
they walked in with 2 microphones, and that was the end of it.
My thing was that I didn't know where this was. I thought
See
this
how
was at the
little
senior-
that bone was?
Yeah, I know. Well, I've heard that before. So I mean, I thought it was at the senior center.
No.
So this is how much I knew, right?
Yeah.
This is how much I didn't need to know.
So, you know my phone number?
Yes.
And that's why I say, if you're getting information from all these different directions, remember the telephone game. Don't do it. Call me directly.
Yeah.
Anybody. I mean, before you start talking about something, if you're not sure and you weren't involved with the process, please just verify before you put it out there.
Did you remember what you were
No,
going
it's
to
over.
say?
It's gone. It's gone.
Tell me.
It's gone.
Well,
Oh, the
it's-
wild blue.
it's probably down
yonder.
Main Street now.
You got anything else?
I don't.
Got any campaign promises?
No.
Anything, like all your wildest dreams will come true, that kind of thing.
No. I'm sad that summer is passing so quickly. It seems like once Memorial Day hits, it just sails after that.
Yeah.
So yeah. Yep. No, it's been busy.
You don't want to
That's been
announce
good.
the extra $10,000 tax credit for Griswold residents.
No. Good Lord, don't put that out there. The phone will be ringing, and then it'll suddenly grow to 15,000 or 20,000.
Or yeah, I heard 25.
Did you
but-
hear what she said? And it's
Yeah.
no.
And you said nothing. It was all me.
Uh-huh.
I gotta- gotta-
But the words will come out of my mouth. So
All right, so no tax credit, folks. Sorry.
I apologize. Okay.
Yeah, that's it. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you for getting me in so quickly. I just, I wanted to clarify. Yeah.
That name.
Yep. So
That name means a lot to me.
Yeah.
And he just recently passed away.
Yes, he did.
So.
He did. So
All right, Tina. Thank you very much.
You're
Paul,
welcome.
you got
Thank you.
anything?
No,
No.
I'm
You
good.
want to talk about cats?
Nope.
No. You want to talk about illegal cable boxes?
Nope.
No.
Nope.
No, nothing.
Nothing. I'm just here to take up room, take a chair.
do I disconnect now?
Well, we're gonna end the show. Thank you very much for coming today.
Thank you. I appreciate
And,
you
you
letting
know-
me come in.
Oh, of course. All you got to do is call me like you do, and say I want to get together and
Yep.
talk about this. I think we do need to get together soon again.
Yes.
To start
I
talking
agree.
about
What's coming?
what's coming up.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
whatever. One last. Let's see. Mary Beth can't have honest conversation in Griswold, and I think Mary Beth. What she means about this
Mm-hmm.
is that you hear one thing, but the truth is over here
Mhm.
because nobody talked, and so. But
No,
I get
I
it.
understand.
So thank you very much. Thank you for listening this morning and tuning in.
Thank you.
We'll be back again tomorrow morning. Right.